The man was searching for treasure in the ocean. Suddenly, a towering wave came crashing toward him. Luckily, at the critical moment, a flying little donkey pulled him to safety. It was then that the man realized the massive creature before him was a giant whale, bound by iron chains. No one knew how many years the whale had been trapped there. An entire lush island had grown on its back. When the whale saw Arthur, it burst into tears. Arthur understood the whale was begging for help. Kind-hearted Arthur decided to help the whale regain its freedom. He climbed onto the donkey and dove straight into the whale's nostril. The little donkey used the feathers on its wings to relentlessly tickle the whale's nasal cavity. The whale suddenly felt unbearably itchy all over. Then, an ancient primal force erupted from within. With a sneeze as powerful as a volcanic eruption, the thick iron chains were snapped apart. The whale was finally free and returned to the depths of the ocean. To thank Arthur, the whale sent a little lobster carrying a solid gold ring. Unexpectedly, this was the very ocean's heart the king had been searching for, but Arthur hesitated. If the king got the ring, the princess would have no reason to refuse marrying him. It turned out Arthur had already fallen in love with the princess. He decided to risk everything for her. Late at night, Arthur planned to elope with the princess, but a minister spotted them from afar. Before they could escape, soldiers led by the minister captured them. Hearing the commotion, the king grabbed his weapon and rushed to the window. He saw the little donkey in the distance and without hesitation pulled the trigger. The bullet pierced the donkey and it plummeted from the sky, crashing hard to the ground. To save Arthur, the princess revealed her secret of immortality to the king, but the cunning king was only half convinced. At that moment, the minister whispered a lousy idea to the king. The next day at the palace gates, soldiers brought in 3 giant iron cauldrons. The first was filled with boiling water. The second was icy seawater that could freeze a person instantly. The third was filled with poisonous milk. Whoever could survive all 3 would gain immortality, but the sly king had no intention of testing it himself. He shoved Arthur into the first cauldron. The princess quickly took off her ring and tossed it into the boiling water. Arthur successfully passed the first trial. Then he fell into the freezing cold cauldron. In an instant, his body was frozen solid. Just then, the primal chant of the fire phoenix surged into the cauldron, and Arthur passed the second trial. But when Arthur fell into the third cauldron filled with poison, the princess was stunned. She had no idea how to save him this time. Everyone believed Arthur was dead, and they began to leave in sorrow. Suddenly, a white light streaked across the sky. Looking closer, it was a glowing dandelion which floated straight into the poisonous cauldron. In the blink of an eye, Arthur was reborn, rising from the cauldron like a fire phoenix. It turned out the little donkey, though gravely injured, had run to the ends of the earth to find the only life and death flower in existence. Seeing Arthur had gained immortality, the king wasted no time and jumped into the cauldron himself. But instead of becoming immortal, he got trapped inside a giant bubble, which floated away into the endless universe. Everyone praised Arthur's bravery, and he became their new king. From then on, he and the princess lived happily ever after. Finally, if you had to choose between the little donkey, the fire phoenix, and the ice princess, which one would you pick?